Evaluating universities. We'll talk just a little bit about this. We'll go pretty fast just because of time. Things to think about. The things in yellow are the most important in our mind. The number one thing is, what are your values and what matters to you? So why are you picking this university? Two things that aren't so good in my world are brand name and where your friends are going. If you say, I'm going to McGill because it's the best school in Canada, Melinda, well, best at what? Best for who? On what ranking? What are you going to do with it? Is it the right place for you? So really sit down with your student and talk to them. What are you looking for here? Are you looking for co-op or the ability to work? Are you looking for small class sizes? Are you looking for as far away from home as you can possibly get? Are you looking to be taught by professors? What is it that we're looking for here? And a lot of parents don't breach this conversation, and if you're paying, I encourage you to breach it. Say, okay, this is what we're investing. Do the numbers for them. The kids don't get what it costs to live in residence, what it costs to eat at university. Do the number, times it times 5, because unless you go to Calgary with the 4-year guarantee, they're probably not getting out in 4 years. All right, and say, this is what we're investing. Let's talk about what we want to get for this money. We are consumers investing in a service provider, and we think this money is worth something. And then start the conversation. Easy things to break down. How big or small are the classes? Who's teaching it? Little known fact about Bishop's, the little teeny tiny guy in Lennoxville, Quebec. Bishop's has no TAs or teaching assistants, all professors. Every one of them. Also, how accessible are support services, especially if your student is a learning disabled student. Our learning disability centers, especially at certain universities, can be phenomenal. A lot of them have very different approaches as to whose job is it to deal with certain things about accommodations, about getting your extended time, about your use of computer. If your student is physically disabled, also a really important thing to start to consider, how close are those buildings? How are you going to deal in the snow? Just a lot of good conversation. What happens if I change direction? This is probably the most overlooked one. Adolescents change their mind all the time. The hardest thing about our job is truly an adolescent's interests don't solidify until they're 22. So what we do every day is try and point kids enough in the right direction so that all things that we know at the time, they probably can still get the job done. The good thing is their interests very, very rarely change drastically from polar, I want to be an art history major, to I want to be an electrical engineer. They're usually in some sort of realm. So what we try and say is, okay, these are the realms we know. If you start here and you change your mind, can you get here?